It's day 2 of a walkout involving correction officers at the Elmira State Prison and now other prisons around the state of New York. Despite below-zero wind chills, the officers are outside in front of the prison stating their case. Governor Kathy Hochul says she'll bring in the National Guard tomorrow if the walkout doesn't end tonight. And New York State troopers are already in place providing security around the perimeter of state prisons. Here's the bottom line right now. Officers who are protesting are told they'll lose 2 days of pay for every missed shift. Officers who are not protesting are now living inside the prison. They are effectively locked in until the strike ends. In New York, it is illegal for public employees to strike, but the corrections officers say their work environment is so dangerous that they have to do something to call attention to the issues they face every day. State lawmakers are issuing statements of support for correction officers. Some restaurants in Elmira are providing food for the strikers as a show of support. And speaking of support, the community seems to be rallying around the strikers, honking horns as they drive by the prison and using social media. 18 News reporter Joe Mason is live outside the prison with those striking correctional officers. Joe, just listening to the honking horns and seeing all the food out there, it looks like the community is really coming out to support these correction officers in a big way.
That's right, Jim. As you could hear, maybe not, I'm not sure, but tons of cars passing by honking their horns. But I really want to focus on 4 main points here. We're well into day 2 of this strike, but correction officers that have been inside the prison since this all began are still there with no real timetable of when this could end. Governor Hochul, as you mentioned, will possibly be calling in the National Guard if a resolution is not found between these corrections officers. And in addition to that, New York State Police are around the perimeter of Elmira Correctional Facility and other correctional facilities across the state. And one thing that cannot be overstated is the weather. The last time I checked, it was 14 here in Elmira with wind chills topping out around -2. So now the warmest of temperature out here for these correction officers, but plenty of barrel fires around me and them. Live here in Elmira, Joe Mason, 18 News.
Now, as Joe said, the correction officers inside the prison are locked in, and they also don't have any communication with their families or friends right now, so keep that in mind.